prompt engineering is over. I do not mean it is dying slowly or fading or evolving into something else. I mean the thing people spent 2 years calling prompt engineering, the careful crafting of instructions, the prompt libraries, the prompt courses sold for hundreds of dollars in 2024, all of that was the bridge to the actual technology. The bridge is being torn down, the new system is here. Anthropic, the company that makes Claude, said this themselves on their official documentation page in October of 2025. The exact words are on the platform docs page right now. Unlike prompts, which are conversation-level instructions for one-off tasks, skills load on demand and eliminate the need to repeatedly provide the same guidance across multiple conversations. Read that one more time. Eliminate the need to repeatedly provide the same guidance. That sentence is the obituary for the entire prompt engineering category. This episode is about the 4 things that actually matter in 2026 instead. Each one is documented. Each one is something a non-coder can build this Saturday. By the end, you will have a list of 4 pieces of paper to write down, and one of them is the first one you will run before next weekend. Forget prompts. The lever moved. 3 things in order. First, why prompt engineering as a career, as a skill, as a course you should pay for is finished. Not metaphorically, mechanically, the technology changed shape under it. Second, the 4 things that replaced it: skills, memory, tool use, and the part nobody talks about, which is the human question of what to actually ship. Each one is documented in Anthropic's own materials, and each one is something you can hold in your hand on Saturday morning. Third, the action. 1 file, 50 lines, plain English. By next weekend, it runs your first recurring task without you re-explaining the context every time. The same way the documentation says. The misconception worth fixing first is that prompt engineering was ever a real job category. For about 18 months in 2023 and 2024, it looked like one. People put it on resumes. Coursera and Udemy sold prompt engineering certificates. Companies posted prompt engineer roles with salaries in the high 5 figures. There was a real moment when it seemed like the rare skill of writing the perfect ChatGPT instruction was going to be the career of the next decade. The job market told a different story almost immediately. By the second half of 2025, Indeed and LinkedIn data showed the prompt engineer postings had collapsed. The roles that survived were renamed AI engineer or AI implementation specialist, and the actual work shifted from writing one-off instructions to building systems. The salary surveys that had bragged about $300,000 prompt engineers in 2023 were quietly removed. The deeper reason is structural. A prompt is a one-off instruction. You type it, the model reads it, the conversation ends. The next time you want to do the same task, you type the same instruction again. There is no carryover, there is no compounding. Each conversation starts from zero. A senior software engineer named Andre Carpetti summarized the shift in mid-2025 with one short post. He said context engineering is replacing prompt engineering. An independent researcher named Simon Willison expanded on this in a longer essay later that year. The argument was that the actual job of someone working with these tools in 2026 is not crafting one-off prompts. It is assembling persistent context, files, instructions, and memory that the model reuses every time you sit down. The distinction is small in words and enormous in consequence. Prompt engineering optimized one moment. Context engineering and the more specific category of skills that came after it optimized the rest of your life. This is the bridge being torn down. The 2-year era when the magic was in the typed instruction, the technology grew past it. What replaced it is 4 things in order of effect. 1. Skills. The everyday language file that tells the model how you want a recurring task done every time without you re-explaining. 2. Memory. The everyday language file that tells the model what it should remember about you, your work, and your preferences across every session. 3. Tool use. The connection that lets the model reach out to other software, your calendar, your spreadsheet, your inbox instead of just talking back to you. 4. The human brief. The part nobody automated, what you actually want shipped, who it is for, why it matters. The model can do everything else. It cannot decide what to build. Master one, and you have already passed everyone still tweaking prompts. Master all four, and you are running the new system. Walk the four. Number 1. Skills. A skill is a single file written in regular sentences that lives in a folder on your computer or in the Claude web interface. Anthropic introduced these officially in October of 2025 under the name Agent Skills. The file format is open and named SKILL.md. It is not code, it is sentences a 6th grader could write. The file describes a task you want done the same way every time. Maybe you write a weekly newsletter. Maybe you draft client proposals. Maybe you summarize 3 reports into one brief every Friday. The skill file says, here is how to do this task. Here is the format I want. Here is what good output looks like. Here is what to avoid. Once the skill file exists, you stop typing the instructions. You just say, run my newsletter skill on this week's notes. The model reads the file, applies it, and produces the output, same format. Same voice every single time. A real example, a marketer named Ruben Hassid, who works alone, posted in April of 2026 about replacing his old prompt library with 2 skills, one called /newsletter, one called /negotiate. Each is a 40 to 50 line file. He no longer re-explains his tone, his audience, or his structure to the model. The skill files do that for him every time in the background. Hassid is not a coder, he is a non-technical marketer. The skill files he wrote are sentences. That is the surface area of the new technology. Number 2. Memory. Memory is the second file. Anthropic released it as a feature in early 2026. It comes in 2 forms. The first is the manually written CLAUDE.md file you place in a project folder. It tells the model facts about that project, the file structure, your preferences, the people involved. The second is automatic memory, where the model itself notes what is relevant from your conversations and reuses it the next time you sit down. The everyday version of why this matters. Without memory, every session starts from 0. You retell the model your name, your business, the project context, the constraints. With memory, you tell it once in a file and it knows. You sit down on Tuesday and the model already knows what Monday's meeting was about and what you decided. Anthropic's own documentation calls this automatic accumulation of knowledge across sessions without you writing anything. Read that sentence twice as well. The default feature is that the model remembers. The 2024 default of explaining yourself every time becomes the exception. Number 3. Tool use. Tool use is the model reaching out to other software. Calendar, email, spreadsheets, databases, browser, code editors, anything with a digital interface. The standard for this is a protocol called Model Context Protocol or MCP, which Anthropic published in late 2024 and which the broader industry adopted through 2025. The everyday description goes like this. MCP is a USB port for AI. You plug a tool in, the model can use it. You unplug, the connection is gone. In practical terms, this means the model can now do the thing instead of just describing the thing. It can actually book the meeting on your calendar, not just write you the email about booking it. It can pull the numbers from your spreadsheet, run the analysis, and write the brief that uses them. The work compresses from a chain of you copy-pasting to one ask. A senior software engineer named Gabriel Anhaya documented his post-prompt stack in April of 2026. The 5 things he said matter most for working with the model now were exactly skills, memory, MCP tool use, structured output, and clear thinking about the brief. 3 of those are tools. The other 2 are the human side. Number 4. The human brief. This is the part nobody automated, and it is the entire reason the first 3 exist. The first 3 are mechanics. They tell the model how to operate. They do not tell the model what to build. The brief, the actual sentence describing what you want shipped, by when, for whom, why, is the one place the human still does all the work. The model does not know what you want, you do. Another writer, Mehul Gupta, wrote in April 2026 that the real skill today is not talking to the model. It is figuring out what is worth shipping in the first place. If you spent the last 2 years memorizing prompt patterns, you optimized for the easy half of the problem, the half the technology now handles itself. The new bottleneck is the human side. What is worth doing? Who is it for? What does done look like? None of that has been automated. None of that is going away. So the 4 answers in one sentence each. Skills tell the model how to do the recurring task. Memory tells it what to carry forward. Tool use lets it act, not just talk. The brief is what you want, which only you can decide. Forget prompts. Build these 4. 3 honest limits. The first thing is that one-off questions still exist, and for those, a single typed instruction is still the right tool. If you want to know the capital of Madagascar, you type the question and read the answer. There is no skill file needed. The argument is not that typed prompts vanish. It is that typed prompts are now the right tool only for the one-off, not for anything you do twice or more. The second limit is that all 4 pieces below the human brief require Claude or a similar model that supports them. Skills, memory, and MCP tool use are platform features, not theoretical constructs. They work in Claude, they work in some other systems, they do not work everywhere. Before you spend a Saturday building a skill file, confirm your model supports the format. Anthropic's docs page is the ground truth. The third limit is that the 4 things compound, but they also have an order. Skills first because they replace the most repetitive work. Memory second because it builds on the skills you wrote. Tool use third because the value of plugging in a tool depends on what skills and memory are already in place. The human brief is the connective tissue that runs through all of them. Trying to start with MCP tool use before you have a single skill file is starting at step 3. Most people who try the new stack from the wrong end up frustrated. If those 3 limits are accounted for, the 4 things stack cleanly and the prompt engineering era closes for you specifically. The Saturday action. 1 file, 50 lines, plain English. Pick one task you do at least twice a month. Could be a weekly client summary, a monthly invoice draft, a project status update, a weekly newsletter, a Friday handoff, anything you have written more than once and will write again. Open a plain text editor, anyone, Notepad, Apple Notes, the Claude web interface, create a new file, name it SKILL.md or SKILL.txt. The exact name does not matter for this first run. Inside the file, write 5 sections in regular sentences, no code, no special syntax. That is the entire file. If it takes more than 30 minutes, you are over-engineering. Sit at the kitchen table with a coffee. Write the 5 sections like you are training a new assistant. When the file is done, paste it into a Claude conversation and say, run this skill on the following input, then paste the input. Watch what happens. The output will be imperfect on the first run. That is the point. You edit the skill file, not the prompt. You add a sentence to section 4. You sharpen section 5. You rerun. The next time you need the same task, you reuse the same file. The third time, the same file. The 100th time, the same file. Each edit makes it sharper. The prompt was the wrong unit. The skill file is the right one. By the time you have done this for one task, you understand the new system in your hands, not just in your head. Then you write the second one for the next recurring task, then a third. After 3 to 5 skill files, the prompt era is over for you specifically. You stop typing the instructions because the file you wrote on Saturday is doing it for you. After the first run, write a date 1 week from today on your calendar. That is when you write the second skill. Not the perfect second skill, the next one. If this reframed the question for you, write your first skill file this Saturday, then comment "forget" below with 1 word. The recurring task you are turning into your first skill. Newsletter, invoice, summary, outreach, update. Whatever it is, that 1 word tells me what the next episode walks through at deeper resolution. The starter SKILL.md template that pairs with this episode is in the link in the description. 5 sections, 50 lines maximum, plain English. Copy it, swap in your task, run it Saturday. If you want to compare your first skill file with what other people are writing, the school community is at school.com/agentskillsacademy/about. Link in the description. Real skill files, real critique, real iteration. Subscribe, and the next 4 episodes follow this same path. Build a second brain that remembers everything. How to use Claude Code so fast people think you are a coder. The 50 Claude Code skills I tested that actually make you money. And a 1-week experiment of building 5 skills from a kitchen table. Mondays through Thursdays, 6:30 in the evening Eastern. Forget prompts. Build the file. I will see you Saturday.